All red bottoms, how I'm dripping. All white Buffy's, how I'm saucy.
LapDiamondLondon.com.
All white Buffy's, how I'm saucy.
Greetings, Shīfù. I'd like to talk with you about relationship again. What is your take on men in sexless relationships?
Yeah, we're going to talk about, oh my God, we're going to talk about relationships and all this stuff again. Oh, jeez. You want to know something funny? Yesterday, I was walking near my crib and this woman was coming down the street. She was going to turn right, but she was in, like, you know where the white lines are in the middle of the road? She was way across. As she turns right, a guy on a moped is riding up. Bang. She smacks right into him. Comes like, he's like, bang. So I'm like, hey, you cool, bro? You cool? And he's just like, you know, whole different days and stuff. The woman gets out the car. I'm like, it's your fault. You was on the other side of the road. What the hell was you doing? Look. And her car is like way on the other side of the road still. And I'm like, look where your car is. These other neighbors start coming out their garden and stuff. And I'm like, look where her car is. And they're like, what the hell? Like, what was she doing, you know? And she's like, no, it was him. I saw him and I stopped and then he hit me. And I'm like, oh, I didn't want to fuck up my glasses. I was like, oh my God, this dumb bitch. You know, she's literally has all the evidence in front of her, proving without a doubt that it was her fault. It's her responsibility why the crash happened. Even with all this in front of her, she refused to accept the truth. She still believed it was the guy's fault. There's plenty of women that get in a car crash and take responsibility. But I'm just saying in that scenario, it was like that person was just like, ugh, I hate people that can't take responsibility, you know? I just say that before we get into this story. There's a lot of people in relationships and very long-term relationships and, you know, a lot of good guys that mean well, that are trying to do everything correctly. And they're not getting laid. They're not getting no type of lay. They're not getting nothing. Zip, zilch, nada. And oftentimes, the woman will project onto the guy like it's his fault. It's his problem. He's doing something wrong. And it's like, the nice guy is going to take that and accept that. But the poor fella, the poor guy doesn't realize women have like this innate switch that can be switched on and off. A sex switch. It can be either on or off. So when they're in their like prime and they're out in the field and they're courting people, dating people, having their little hoe phase and everything like that, the switch is on for bad guys. It's all the way on for bad guys. We're talking about average women here as well. But it's the switch is on for all the bad guys. You know, that asshole, that dickhead, that, you know, so they're doing that all for their 20s, playing around with these bad guys, you know. It's like I wouldn't say it's hyperstophilia, but it's because that's like when someone loves a criminal or something. But men, we don't have that. Women have that. You know, we don't exactly say, oh, that bitch got locked up. Oh, I want to marry her. Or I find that sexy or attractive. It's like that guy that model that became like a supermodel, marrying some like billionaire, some billionaire's daughters. He ended up marrying some billionaire's daughter or something like that, or hooking up with a billionaire's daughter. And he became like this supermodel. But he was an actual criminal, but he just looked so fresh and clean, or the girls found him so attractive, he ended up getting like a model contract and stuff from his actual prison. I forgot the name of the photo, the prison shot. We'll put a photo of it here because anyone who was around like social media at that time, he was super viral. And yeah, that bro ended up getting like a modeling contract, everything. Yeah. And salute to him. But the women were going crazy for him, you know? They were going absolutely bonkers for him. And that's like that appeal they have to bad boys growing up and stuff. So the sex switch is on for that. That bad guy is just going to get all the women, you know, that's going through that phase. But the women are smart, or the women that are smart, they then switch that over and give that. They have the switch on for the good guy when they start heading towards the wall. When they know their biological clock is ticking and everything, and they're about to crash into the wall, they know like, okay, this switch is off for the bad guys now. We ain't playing with these bad guys. We ain't met. You see it in like their profiles and stuff. Like if you go on Tinder or something, it'd be like, not interested in fuckboys. You know what I mean? Like, stay away from the fuckboys. Like they're now looking for Mr. Good Guy, you know? And a lot of the time it's a guy that they're not really now they're no longer caring about physical attraction, heart racing. They don't give a fuck about none of that stuff. You know, that switches off for those guys. So those guys that she's actually attracted to and everything that comes up to her, that guy's invisible to her, you know? Invisible to her. She's now looking at financial security, who she can have children with and stuff like that, who can provide for her, and all these sort of things, you know, more like hypergamy sort of value in far of like financial and things like that. Nothing to do with necessarily looks and stuff. If they get that as well, it's a bonus. But their switch is on for the good guy now, you know? Especially if they're already hitting the wall, they're not super attractive, they're not a 10 or anything like that, then the standard, they know they have to drop it now, you know? The smart women, they know they have to drop it. The stupid women, they still think they're this 10 when they're like a 5, and they're still like trying to find the perfect guy. It's like they're just going to get, you know, weeded out and just like get lost in the sauce. But the smart women, they know, okay, I've had my fun with the bad guys, I'm going to switch the sex switch over to the good guys. So now she meets Poindexter and these guys, you know, the guy, the IT super manager that's on high wages or whatever, and you know, he's always been interested in her. Now her switch is like, how are you, Poindexter? You know, Poindexter's like, what, me? Looking behind him, like, me? You want to go on a date with me? You know, so he ends up getting played now. Sex switch is on for him. She's got all this experience with all these bad guys, so she's given him the craziest sex he's ever had in his entire life. So he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Our sex relationship is so amazing. We're so compatible. We have such a good connection. I love her. She's roped him in, you know? He's bitten the carrot stick, you know? She's got him. So now, Poindexter, you know, hollers at me and says, yo, Shīfù, I need a ring. I'm going to marry her. I'm like, okay, cool, boom. Make him this magical ring. He goes and gets married to her. And then everything's all good for a little bit. But then she starts rationing the punani. She's rationing the pum. She's rationing the swa. It's getting rationed. And the reality of the situation is, you know, she's got married now. She's got the kids. She's got the financial stability. They got the house with the white picket fence. She's cushy. She doesn't need to fuck him no more. Because she didn't. It was all a game anyway. She's won the game now. So now it's like Poindexter's like, hey, baby, tries to, you know, and she might not show that, but inside she's like, she can't stand it anymore. She doesn't want to physically have sex with Poindexter no more. Because her switch had a game plan. It was to trap this guy, get this guy, make sure that she survives, make sure that everything she desires is in place the way she wants it to be. And she succeeded now. So it's like, I don't need to give him this trade-off anymore because I've already got everything that I needed. So she no longer wants to trade the sort of sexual, amazing sex and all this stuff. No, I'm done with that. She don't want to do that no more. I've already won the game. Why do I still need to do this? So it's like, now they have this calendar in their head where it's like, okay, if I just give him sex once a month, once every 2 weeks, that buys me another 2 weeks. That buys me another month where I don't have to fuck this guy again. That's what's going on. And Poindexter's like, went from all this amazing sex, got married and everything. Some people it happens instantly and it's like goes to that, and then they're like, I'm getting no play now. I'm getting no sex. Her switch is off, bro. That's all it is. Her switch is off. And the manipulating and fucked up side of it is she's gonna make it out like it's you. Like you're the problem. So Poindexter he hasn't changed one bit. He's the same Poindexter that she met. He's never changed. In fact, he's even became a greater man because he knows he has all this responsibility to now take care of and make sure she's the happiest wife on the planet. It's not his fault. So she'll do stuff like, read books with her husband, with Poindexter, and be like, oh, look at this sex book. Yeah, this like relationship marriage thing. Maybe we should do counseling. When they do sex counseling or sex marriage counseling or something, and all these things. And she says, oh, then it's like, she says, oh, it's my trauma. All these excuses and different circumstances, just anything to avoid having regular sex with Poindexter. She's all the way switched off, And then sometimes, Poindexter is like so nice and just wants her to be comfortable. He might even just not have sex with her and just understand the situation from the point of view that he's been left with. The position that he's in, he's just accepted it. So there's guys in relationships that don't have any sex for like years. 1 year, 2 years, more. Sexless relationships. And even Poindexter might feel bad. Like, is it me? Like, did I, do I watch too much soccer or do I watch too much? Do you know what I mean? He doesn't realize it's not you. It's not you. It's her. And then they have all these things with women where like, these talk shows and stuff where it's like, oh, you should try this because this will make it work. And, your man should try this. They should spice it up and all this sort of stuff. And this will work. But they're not addressing the actual fact where, the dirty little secret that there's a switch that is on and off. It's almost like even in the public eye, they just avoid this sort of truth that there's a switch and it's off. And when it's off, it's off. That's why even some women in fantastic, financially relationships and stuff like that, they got everything that they need, but they fuck the pool guy, or they fuck the personal trainer, or they fuck the bad boy, because it's like they've won the game already. They don't need it from this person. They'd rather get it from over here. Their switch might go on for the bad guy again at times, even though they're already married. But yeah, that switch is deadly. If you're in that situation, I ain't got no advice for you guys, because if once you're in that situation, it's like, God help you, you've got some big decisions to make. I would say this though, women, this isn't just my words. I've had little experiences like this where the sex has declined when I've lived with someone, and I had to showcase my balls. I had to be like, if it's gonna be like this, you might as well go, because we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. Or in one relationship that I had, it was like, oh, it's gonna be like this. Well, I'm gonna fuck other bitches. Use protection and everything, not tell you anything. You don't need to know anything, and you'd be very surprised if they might be in. They might want that. They might accept that. I'm not saying it's a wise thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But that's how real this switch is. I've experienced it firsthand. You know, where I've gone to someone and it's like you could feel their energy is like off. Like me, I catch that straight away. When that switch is off, I'm catching that straight away. I'm like, hang on a minute. You don't no love for man? Like you got no love for me? Got no love for moi? Okay. We doing it like that? Okay. Separate rooms. And I'm bringing bitches here. Like seriously, this stuff is serious. I'm allowed to bring bitches when you're not here. I'm bringing bitches here. The fuck? You have that room, and we ride this out for a few months. And when you get your shit right, you get the fuck out. You know? Yeah, shit is real. It can happen to the best of us, guys. Don't think you so special that it won't happen to you. It will. It pretty much happens to everyone in some way. Because if you were to say, okay, before we got in a relationship, before we moved in together or something like that, it happens. It's not just marriage. It's even if you move in together. If we do all the times all the sex that we have before we get into the relationship, it's like countless, just all the time, everywhere, anytime. And then once she's secure, man, the comparisons, there's nothing here compared to this. Yeah, this just drops completely. So it happens to the best of us. It happens to pretty much damn near everyone. You know? I bet even like, I'm not even going to go there, but everyone's family is everything. You know, just look at your families and stuff. You could probably see it in the family and stuff, you know? And another thing is like, even from a guy's perspective, we always want to recycle the pussy too. Because we haven't got necessarily a switch, but what we have is like, we need to recycle the pussy sometimes, you know? So it's like, you need that little adventure, that little holiday with your lady, you know? So, or you need to take her out once a month where she could dress up and put all her makeup on and her best dress. And you need to be doing that as well. On our end, that's what we need to make sure is right. You know, we don't just get so comfortable where it's like, it becomes mundane, like the relationship is just a Groundhog Day. No, you gotta make sure, you know, that it's almost like a ritual. We're gonna go and do this, and you better be giving it up after we do this. You know, I've done my press ups and everything. I'm ready to roll. You know, but it shouldn't have to be that much effort. You should just have it organically anyway. You know, but it happens.
All red bottoms, how I'm dripping. All white Buffy's, how I'm saucing.
LapDiamsLondon.com.
All white Buffy's, how I'm saucing.